I might as well just do one more video. I'm going to be talking about one specific individual. His name's Jordan Womble. Unfortunately, he passed away on October 27th because he took his own life, unfortunately. And I made some videos about him in the past. One was titled Jordan Womble Needs Help, and in that video I did not make it in the way I want to make it. I made it completely out of anger, and I ended up saying a lot of things I shouldn't have towards him because it was based off slander. But the whole reason why I wanted to make that video was because I was very frustrated that there are a lot of adults within his, like, comment section always enabling his crazy ramblings, and how just openly racist he was, and how he always talked about, like, telling people to go kill themselves if you disagreed with him, so to speak. And the bottom line is, I don't know if he was trolling, and I don't know if he was was truly sincere, but based on a lot of the things that I've been researching on him and just like getting a bunch of stories straight, apparently he killed himself because he was attempting to have his rainbow aura keep it so he could go to like 9th dimension or something. And I don't know, perhaps that is wrong, who knows. I take everyone who follows his videos and everything they say with a grain of salt, because they only truly, when I watch his videos, everyone that followed him, they only spoke in metaphors and just very symbolic terms, and it's just like, if you want a straight logical answer, you can't fucking get it out of people who watch his answers, or they're just fucking with you or trolling with you. But the bottom line is, I don't hate Jordan. I'm just very upset that he ended up taking his own life, and I never hated him in the first place. I just wanted to call him out on that issue, so to speak, which I shouldn't have either, because it's like, if I fucking like, the thing is, if I made a video about everyone I disagreed with on the internet, I would fucking be making videos 24/7. It just really wasn't worth it. And besides the whole mental illness factor and, just believing that, aliens and ETs are always looking at me and just like fucking seeing in the dimensions all the time. Besides that aspect, I think the main reason why I was angry towards him for a specific amount of time and made a hate video towards him was due to me being a lot like him, because he was a reflection of a lot of problems and flaws that I have, that I saw within myself. So perhaps that was a reason. And I don't know, I just want to set the record straight, because I do have a lot of his trolls that watch my videos. I get one like messaging me from like 6 or 7 different profiles who was dumb enough to leave their number on their Google Plus page, and I gave it a call, and ever since that, they don't fuck with me anymore. I have a few of the Womble trolls attacking me all the time. That's the reason why I disabled my like section, and that's the reason why I approve comments, because I don't want to fucking give them the time of day. And like, I'll get messages like, oh, you should kill yourself and stuff like that, and it's just like, within my mind, it's just like, why are you still saying things like this when a man actually killed himself? Like, this isn't a fucking game anymore. Like, because to a lot of people who watch his videos, it was just all fun and games to him, and there were just a lot of people who made like troll accounts pretending to be like, reptilian shapeshifters, fucking talking to this poor guy, filling his mind with just like obscene information, and then eventually he killed himself over it, and these people are still fucking at it, and it's fucking sick and disgusting and gross. And like, there's some people that think he was trolling, and then there's a lot of people that think he was like dead serious, and personally I think he was dead serious, because he went to the extreme of losing his job over something and standing his ground when the FBI called him out for saying, like, after a 5th attempt of predicting that they were gonna bomb New York, as he called it, that never fucking happened, and he still went to the extreme of defending that, and he lost his job over that, got a felony in the long run. When he went to court, he was trying to like declare a Moorish nationality. So it's just like, if he's taking all these actions within his physical life, and I gotta like think in my own intellect and reasoning that he was not trolling at all, like the guy was dead serious and he took his fucking life over it. And I used to really be into researching like really out there conspiracies such as like lBEiqsL material. There's a lot of like books on Pleiadians, aliens, things of that nature. And the issue is I no longer really research that type of material anymore because I think there are other issues at hand that humans need to work on at first. Instead of, oh, since I'm talking about conspiracies, I got the black helicopters looking at me now. No, I'm fucking with you. But it's just the deeper you go down the rabbit hole when you have a lot of mental issues to begin with, and I personally think he did have a lot, based on like criminal record he had from beforehand that he almost got arrested for assaulting an elderly person or something like that from what I read off the internet. And the guy was just really racist and was telling people to kill themselves all the time, and I don't know, he didn't have any friends within his real life and just spent all this time just talking to like imaginary sock accounts on the internet. And I don't know, it's just, I feel as if you spend too much time going down the rabbit hole, so to speak, metaphorically speaking, you'll eventually not come out and you won't be able to successfully function within this physical reality, and you'll become so ungrounded all the time. And I don't know, I'm just trying to take the path where I get myself as grounded as possible, as humanly possible, before I even attempt to research any of that shit. Because the thing is, I personally think we all came here for a specific reason, and I don't think we're going away anytime soon. And until, like, while we're here, we should fulfill that purpose. And this guy, Jordan, he was so focused on like leaving this reality, going to like 40, 50, 60, 70, 90, or just having like some fucking type of like metaphysical divine force take him away, what he was talking about in his ramblings all the time. And it's just like, as fucked up as this sounds, I think he subconsciously like really created his own like state, because literally he was 27. He was living in his blue room with no decorations in it. He had really no hobbies except like going to the gym and going on the internet and talking about these things. So he didn't really have anything else to preoccupy himself with. And he's just like always talking about, oh, I have to activate my Merkaba and leave this reality. And then eventually he just pretty much snapped, because based on his, you know, his ungroundedness, a lot of things within his physical life started going to shit. Like he couldn't find a job anymore, he couldn't stay employed because he had a felony, he had to cancel his gym membership from what I heard. So he just killed himself. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just, I'm not claiming to be a know-it-all or anything. It's just what I notice a lot. This is from my own thought processes and from other intellectual people that I've talked to, including psychologists and psychiatrists. One psychologist that I'm friends with, and he counsels me sometimes too. We all have come to the understanding that we all agree that people subconsciously make up their minds before they actually make the conscious decision. So in other words, let's say like you get in a relationship with a person, whether it be friendship or romantic, you already made up within your mind subconsciously, you may not even consciously be aware of it, that it is going to end in this certain way, that you'll end up cheating on them, you'll end up, you know, being with them for a year and then you'll leave them, without you even consciously know that. You'll instinctually follow that pattern. I think a lot of our subconscious patterns come back from previous behavior. Like I know, for instance, I have a terrible problem with isolation. I went through periods of not having any friends before, and I just started getting back in the groove of hanging out with people again, trying to form meaningful relationships with people. And I know, like, if I don't change that subconscious thought pattern with my head, if I don't reprogram my subconscious correctly, I'm going to go back in a state of isolating myself for another year, not really talking to anyone, just doing my own thing. And it's just like, I don't want that. But if I don't subconsciously do anything about it, I'll end up back in that state. And like the thing is, like what I noticed with him, I just got so much shit from his like little community, because what I ended up saying in that angry ramble video I made back in May of 2014, I regret a lot of things I said, but the two main points that I want to get across was he was a ticking time bomb, and that he was going to continue to go more into a state of madness, and he was going to either end up harming someone else or some type of thing, or he was going to end up like killing himself. And I got so much shit for that, which pretty much makes up my whole troll base that has been attacking me for like a year now. Like, you guys don't see it because I don't approve the shit. But But it's just like they're like, oh, you're just another cookie cutter faggot psychologist. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, this isn't gonna happen. He'll be fine. And unfortunately, look, he fucking killed himself. And a lot of these fucking nimwits are saying that, oh no, he's in 4D or 5D now. Oh no, Jordan Womble faked his death. Yeah, that's why his parents are going on Facebook and, you know, crying their eyes out about how their son fucking committed suicide. So I don't know. I'm not trying to say I told you so or anything like that, but it's just like, I used to be there. I used to be really into researching this stuff when I was like in middle school, high school. Like, I kind of became ungrounded from it. And I'm just saying, the more you enter the rabbit hole, so to speak, in terms of metaphysics, while you're a human here in this physical plane, with a lot of issues on top of that, personal issues that you haven't even fucking taken care of. Like, if you suffer from depression, anxiety, isolation, just a lot of mental problems, and you expect to be able to research this type of fucking material that questions your reality all the time in a sane manner, I just think you're insane, you're crazy, because if you can't deal with just basic mental processes going on within your fucking brain, what makes you think you're going to be able to, like, comprehend different dimensions going on all around us at the same time, or even fathom about, you know, aliens or things like that happening all around us when you can't even get your shit straight in your own fucking head? And like, I'm at that point too. I got a lot of problems, and I want to work on those things before I even like bother to try and really get into those things. And what I notice with a lot of people is they'll start getting really into that type of information, and they'll fall in this loop, and then eventually they'll just lose touch with reality, and they'll end up in places such as psych wards or killing themselves. And like, a lot of people that make up the psych ward population today are people who are exactly like Jordan. And like, the thing is, he was a cool guy, he was funny, but honestly, how everyone says he was so unique and special, like, I don't really think that. I think he was like a lot of schizophrenic people I've seen before. Like, I work at this rehabilitation facility. There's thousands of people coming every year to get off drugs, and sometimes, occasionally, there'll be people coming off LSD or DMT coming in there, and they sound exactly like Jordan. Oh, the aliens are around me, the nanobots are coming to eat my fucking brains. And the thing with schizophrenia, from what I researched and from what professional psychologists told me, I'm not a psychologist, but this is from what I've researched and what people told me, what you're supposed to do with a schizophrenic is, if they're talking about seeing aliens or just things that aren't physically present, you're supposed to just be like, okay, yeah, and just agree with them. But if you start saying things like, oh yeah, they're gonna fucking eat your brain, they're gonna eat your soul, then the schizophrenic person is actually gonna believe what you're truly saying, and then they'll start fucking going ape shit, and because they finally found someone who doesn't think they're crazy, because everyone thinks they're crazy, so they obviously will believe you. And the like thing is, like, I don't know if he actually did or not. I don't have any proof to show, but personally, I think he had some form of schizophrenia or some type of mental issue, because he literally was believing all this shit that fucking these sock accounts on YouTube that were spoon feeding him about nanobots, aliens, fucking black goo, all this weird shit. And the problem is, when it comes to the whole conspiracy realm, yeah, you can resonate with the information all you want. Like, oh, I really resonate with you, dog, because that passes for like fucking scientific proof within the conspiracy community, I guess. Oh yeah, it's true, dog, because I really resonate with that 13th love, dog. And it's just like, when it comes down to it, unless you can prove that, you know, Queen Elizabeth is a reptilian shape-shifting alien, if like there is, you know, a group of like reptilians that are pedophiles having huge underground fucking trafficking networks of kids for their energetic fucking vibrations and shit like that, until that can actually physically be proven within this reality, that's all just fucking hearsay. And I'm not gonna go so far to say that, no, I believe aliens are real. I do believe aliens did have some type of part in our civilization thousands of years ago. But in terms of the conspiracy quacks like JSX and just all these fucking idiots that go on YouTube, talk a bunch of shit, and they talk about how like they're the 13th son, such as the 13th son, how he's the reincarnation of like pretty much Jesus, he hints at a lot, and how because he's like, you still don't know who I am, dog. And I think he's hinting at Yeshua. And then you have like people like JSX who says he's like a part of like Source and is here for the ninth creation of Lily and Adam and Eve and all that shit. I don't fucking know. I don't pay attention to it. But it's just like, these people, they don't have any physical proof to back it up. And like a lot of people, this is mental illness. Like this means your thought process is fucking destroyed. Is like you have people like this that get into these type of movements and they're like, oh, it must be true because I can really resonate with this information. It's just like there's no physical proof. And the thing is, I think the reason why you're resonating with the information is because your reality and your life is so fucking boring that you hear something exciting, so you're like, oh, this must be the answer, I'm resonating with it down here. And I'm not saying that, like, you know, resonation and all that shit, it's not true. I definitely do think, I do believe, I study occultism all the time. I do believe ceremonial magic, occultism, magic, candle magic. I think all that shit is real, but I think there's a much more scientific understanding to it, such as reprogramming in the subconscious. I just think it's all ancient psychology, which it really is, if I were to put a politically correct label on it. But I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, even before he killed himself in the so-called conscious community. But it's just this event really set it in motion for me to make this video, him killing himself, unfortunately. And it's just like, I don't know, I try to find sources that are grounded when it comes to this material. Like, for example, I know I kiss his ass and ride his dick a lot, but Frater Xavier from Mind and Magic, like, the guy makes, like, absolutely amazing videos when it comes to occultism and candle magic, sigils, all those type of things. And he actually goes into detail about the scientific and subconscious steps and ways on how this stuff occurs, instead of having this crazy guy who claims to be like the 5,000-year incarnation of Gandhi talking all this crazy shit about how aliens visit him every night and all this stuff, when he literally has nothing to back up what he's saying. And there's a lot of false people on YouTube, like the 13th Son, for instance. The guy is a fucking fraud. He's a complete fraud. And there's so many people starting to come out of that community talking about how, like, the guy's out of his fucking mind. And he's been, like, on the run for, like, 2 years. Like, the guy has a felony for, like, beating the shit out of his ex-wife. And his current wife now is filing for divorce. That's why he kind of grew out the whole beard and shit like that, so he can get his fucking disguise on. Like, the dude used to be an ex-drug dealer and all this shit. And then he turns, like, into like the so-called reincarnation, the 13th one, all this bullshit. It's a fucking fraud, it's a scam. And I don't know, it's just when it comes to these type of communities, it's always the same fucking story. Like, you get into research in the conspiracy realm, and there's always going to be that one psychopath, that one narcissist that claims to be all these crazy fucking things, and then eventually their little group turns into shambles, and then it all comes falling down because that person ended up becoming a fraud. Like one guy, the first guy I was exposed to, he's a pedophile. He's in jail now, Matthew Ringrose. I was 12 or 13 when I was in that whole EDF group, into the whole conspiracy realm. That's when I first got really into conspiracies. Then there's like 5 other fucking people that just like ended up turning out to be frauds. And it's just like, yes, I do believe in the existence of aliens. Yes, I do believe in various dimensions, things of that nature. But the thing is, I think we were given logic, science, and mental thought processes for a specific reason, and unless there's like actual physical proof to prove a lot of this stuff, then I don't know, it's all hearsay from here. And all I gotta say out of this is, I'm sorry, Jordan, you killed yourself. I didn't want that to happen. I never hated you. I watched your videos a lot of the time for comedic purposes. I thought you were fucking hilarious. He's a pretty funny guy. I know he hated me till like the last breath because of that video I made, even though, yeah, I don't blame him though. But I don't know, it's just, people need to stay sane, so to speak. And as the individual sane man who I follow, he watches my videos too. I've known this guy on the internet since the whole EDF shit, since I was a fucking little kid, 12 years old. Like, his name is Sane Man. He always says, try to stay sane, and I guess that's how I can really end this video, so to speak. Just don't let your mental thought processes go away and completely lose touch of reality, because, like, the thing is, I'm gonna leave it on this note. The 13th Son guy, he's trying to form this island called 13 Love Island, and all I gotta say is people actually do that, it's gonna be fucking Jonestown 2.0 again. And it's just like, be careful not to get sucked into cults and stuff like that, and try to stay grounded. But peace.